Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Noah from PhoneDog.com, behind the camera, and this is the new T-Mobile Sidekick LX 2009. Since we got this phone ahead of time, thanks to our friends at T-Mobile, we figured we'd show you as much of it as we can before it hits the stores, so you can find out all you can without having to wait. I know some folks are getting the device in advance of its hitting the retail outlets. I believe May 13th is still the retail date. I'm making this video on May 3rd, and there are reports of some people getting the phone. You can pre-order it if you're an existing T-Mobile customer. $199 is the price, and we just found out that it's actually going to cost more for non-T-Mobile customers, which is kind of an interesting flip. Usually the upgrade price for a current customer for a new cell phone is more. T-Mobile's flipping the script, showing some customer loyalty. $199 for current customers to upgrade, $249 for new customers. That, of course, is the 2-year on-contract price. We'll get into this more in another video, and I did a little bit on the unboxing. It's very, very shallow. The travel on the keys is very shallow, but it works well. The HTC G1 for T-Mobile, also very shallow keys, but I find this one a little bit more comfortable for some reason. The spacing on the keys is really nice. The key shape is good. I'm having it's funny, I'm having to kind of trust it, and that is to say that as I use it more, I'm used to it more, but because the travel is so shallow, and by travel I mean the amount that it actually, the keys actually move when you press them, I'm not always sure that I've actually typed something. And I'm noticing more and more that if I just trust it, I'm typing more and more accurately, and pretty accurately to begin with anyway. So even though I sometimes don't feel like I necessarily click because it moves it's such a short amount that the keys move, they seem to work well. Not too much thumb fatigue so far. One thing that's kind of funny, and this just might be more me the way that I hold my hands and hold the phone, is that it's been feeling at first like it's kind of lopsided, like my left hand naturally rests, my thumbs, as you can see, kind of rest a little bit to the right of center of the keyboard, which makes getting back here to these keys a little bit difficult. But I think that's more about the way that I hold the phone. It's not the phone, so far as I can tell, even though the screen is a little bit offset to the right as I hold it this way. You can see there's more of an empty bezel over here than over here. The keyboard itself seems to be pretty centered, and so I think it's just me that for some reason, when I hold the phone, I naturally hold it skewed to the right a little more than to the center or to the left, if that makes sense. So I don't know if you have this phone. Let us know. Post some comments what you think about the keyboard. So we'll go to Twitter here, and oh, look at that! See, the power of Twitter. Good old Sasha from PC Magazine, a fellow mobile tech writer, and great guy. I've met him a few times at shows. Very good reporter, up on his stuff. And this is what he says: a small group of MySpace accounts which are crashing the Sidekick LX09. So not necessarily the Sidekick or the MySpace app, but it's the accounts. Talk to Microsoft. There you go. Thanks, Sasha. Will do. All right. So here's my my Twitter friend feed here, and I can write an update. And in fact, I'm going to update. I'm going to say, instead of writing an update, I'm going to go into here. I'm going to hit the menu button. I'm going to respond to Sasha, and I'm going to say, thanks. That actually just showed up in a vid. I'm shooting. Free plug for you and PC Mag. Because you know what? You got to give credit where credit's due, right? Sasha coming through with the info, willing to share it with me, and I am willing to give him his props on Twitter and in the video. So there you go. So it's updating, sending it. There you go. 3G speeds, not bad at all. Now if I go back to the menu here, you can see I can set my location. I can toggle between views, so I can look at the friend timeline. I can look at replies to me, which are the at replies. It's not Twitter mentions, which are even a little bit newer, so we'll see if they push out an update for that or how they deal with that. But it'll be interesting to see how often they update the Twitter app. because Twitter itself is updating their features all the time. Michael Harrison, I have mad skills on the drums. All your videos are so addictive. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Awesome. There's your little mention. Yes, it is exciting, Ariel Carpenter. I'm not going to tell you what we're talking about, though. Anyway, so you can look at that. You can look at your direct messages and the public timeline as well. And so we'll update the public timeline. It takes, a little minute for it to upload or refresh itself, but not too bad at all. The 3D speeds definitely help. And you can see I don't have the strongest signal where I am right now, but still not too bad. You can also set your notifications. You can show or hide those notifications I was showing you before up on the top. You can follow people by just typing in their username right there. And you can also, on all these apps, you can set it to notify you when things happen. And here, like I was saying, you can also set it to notify you with a sound or not. I don't want a sound on every new tweet because that'd be annoying. This is what I was saying before about Facebook. I couldn't set the manual refresh on Facebook, but manually set the refresh period rather. But there was a command to let me refresh the timeline. On Twitter, I can set it to check for tweets every 5 minutes, 15, 30, or an hour. Or what a Twitter user told me, and I'm going to have to look up this person's name so I can give them some props as well. Where was it? Alright, so I can't find who it was, but somebody I owe a big props to who told me that there is a way to manually refresh Twitter. So I'm going to show you again. If I go into the settings, there's no set, check for tweets every 5 minutes. That's the quickest it'll do it automatically. And for some people, like me, who are addicted to this kind of stuff, you want to refresh it a little bit more quickly. So if I go back to my friend timeline here, and you can see there are shortcuts for other things. I just haven't done it yet. You can actually go Menu U, and it's carried over from other sidekicks, and that'll manually update whatever you're on. So Menu U, there's no more now, but you saw I just got, Sasha's got his full review up there. There you go. So Menu U will manually refresh to the latest tweets, which is pretty cool. Anyway, so all in all, the Twitter client, like frankly, I've just used the most because I'm using Twitter more than Facebook these days, and the MySpace client just won't work with my account apparently. I'll have to try it with a different account. But the Twitter client I think is quite good. The Facebook client also quite good. It's a messaging device, and it's cool that T-Mobile's integrating these things on the system level and getting them, out of the box right there. It's interesting to see because there are Twitter apps available now for, all kinds of different devices, BlackBerry, Windows Mobile, Symbian S60, iPhone, et cetera, et cetera. And it's just kind of interesting to see, a non-smartphone. This is what you're going to get, at least right now, if you want to use Twitter or MySpace or Facebook, and you don't want to use the website, because obviously you can go to the website as well. I'll show you the website from one of these here. But it's kind of cool to see, and it's interesting that this is what you get right out of the box, as opposed to being able to choose from different competing apps like you can on a full smartphone. Like an iPhone, there are a ton of different Twitter apps out there now. Anyway, so pretty cool stuff from T-Mobile with the Sidekick LX 2009. Here's the Twitter app. It's it's the mobile version. You can go to the standard version also. We'll get into the web browser and the other features of the Sidekick LX 2009, other videos, trying to break it up so you can kind of see it piece by piece and not have them be too long. But you can see here now the web browser definitely much improved from previous versions. The 3G speeds help a lot, and it's not quite the best-in-class web browser like an Opera, but it's really, it's pretty good for a feature phone, definitely very good. We'll get into more about the web browser in its own video, though. All right? So for now, I'm Noah from PhoneDog.com. If you want, you can follow me on Twitter. I'm PhoneDog_Noah. We'll take you back there so you can see it. We've got a Facebook page for PhoneDog now. Don't use my personal page anymore because we're not going to update that one with phone stuff. But you want to go to the PhoneDog page where you can also play the One Pod Bandit, which is pretty cool. You can win free stuff. Till next time, thanks for watching. Much more on the Sidekick LX 2009 and all the new phones over on PhoneDog.com. See you later.